Hey, if you're a serious rifleman, you've probably noticed that we have a shortage of serious .22 long rifle rimfire in an adult format. Mostly these 22s are made fairly inexpensively for plinking, but if you're serious about your small game hunting or your precision shooting, you want a good, solid, well-built 22 that is accurate. And by golly, we have one from Springfield Armory. It's called the Model 2020. And this is one right here. Now, as you can see, it's a traditional style and material in the stock. It's a walnut stock. It comes in 4 flavors. You've got a satin finish. You've got an A grade, a double A grade, and a triple A grade. And boy, they get pretty fancy when they're up in that triple grade. I don't even know what this one is. Looks like probably a double grade to me, but it's got some nice figure in it. And as I said, if you're a dedicated rifleman, you really appreciate things like that. But the heart of this thing, of course, is the action, the barrel, and the accuracy. Can it produce? And by golly, it can. The Springfield Armory team guarantees 1-inch groups at 50 yards with match-grade ammunition and a good shooter. And by golly, this thing delivers twice that. I'm getting 1/2-inch groups at 50 yards with some Ely ammunition, that's target-grade ammunition. And several others are shooting awfully darn well, too, well under that 1-inch guarantee. And this is just the lighter-barreled sporting model in the Hunter. So, pretty impressive stuff. How does it all happen? Well, it's obviously precision built. They must have just some really good quality barrels. Let's just take a look at the action. This is, of course, your traditional bolt action push feed. Let me take the bolt out. Got a nice bolt release here on the side, and you can see that they have 2 ejectors or extractors, 2 extractors right here, one on either side, so you get good firm extraction. A lot of 22s have a problem with this. They leave the case in the chamber. These pull it out every time. And then when you come back, there is a standing ejector blade at the back that very positively knocks that case off. It's working very well. The whole system locks up back here, not up front with any lugs. You can see there aren't any locking lugs here on the bolt front. But back here there are. It's actually the bolt handle's root itself. And then on the other side is the second lug, and it's just this smallish little bump right there that locks into a groove in the back of the receiver ring. It's a good solid lockup. There are also dual cocking cams. You can see one here on the top, and then of course this one on the bottom. And that allows for a nice clean cocking when you lift your bolt after a shot. Cocks, there you go. 2-position safety, does not lock the bolt down, but safe, fire. Pretty simple stuff. Now you may have noticed that the magazine is your 10-22 Ruger style, 10-round rotary magazine. I really like that. That creates a bit of a uncomfortable grip right here at the bottom. All the Rugers have that. They can't really round it off without getting too big and fat, so they sharp angle it, and it's a little uncomfortable for a long carry, but they lose that after this area. Up in front, the forend is nicely rounded. It's got a good feel in the hand for a hunting stock. And it shoots like a house afire, guys. So I don't know what a guy could complain about. It's got a nice satin blued finish on it. Got a hard rubber recoil pad on the back. I like that just before standing up somewhere. It's not going to slip out. You don't need to worry about recoil with a 22, obviously. You've got your standard sling swivel stud mounts here, front and back. And the interesting thing is the bedding system. They actually have an aluminum bedding block in it, and it's integral with the trigger guard and the magazine box that holds everything together. This big aluminum block in which, of course, we have our magazine, and you eject it right there. There you can see that standing ejector blade for knocking the round off. And here up front is a tiny little pin sticking up. That pin is essentially the recoil lug. It mates to a hole in the bottom of the front receiver ring right there, right behind the screw hole for attaching the stock to the barrel. The trigger, as I said, was a Model 700 style, so you could go with a Timney aftermarket trigger or anybody else who makes Model 700 styles. It just bolts right on. Pretty simple system. It comes with a Picatinny rail that you see here that's interrupted, so you don't have the rail sticking out over the port as much as you usually get. I would probably replace that with just some lower rings and a simpler mount system, but they're pretty popular these days, and it gives you the option of pushing your scope further forward or backwards to get a perfect fit. 20-inch barrel, looks like it's cut rifled, and as I said, it's obviously really accurate because I'm getting half-inch groups at 500 yards. So if you are looking for a 22 for a serious shooter, something that's well built and strong, I think you might want to check this one out. It's from the good folks at Springfield Armory, and that is an independent company. It has nothing to do with the old Springfield Armory. That was in service since, gosh, 1777 when George Washington started it. But that thing was closed down in 1968, I think. And then the Reese family started up Springfield Armory just to honor the name. And they started making, well, replicas, I guess you'd call them, of the M1 Garand, the M14, and the 1911 handgun. And now they make all kinds of things, including the 2020 Waypoint centerfire rifles, which brings up another option if you don't like walnut stocks. Let's bring over something from the Waypoint. This is the Target Model 2020-22 with a stiff polymer stock for precision shooting. You can see it has a thicker, heavier target weight barrel on this baby, and the stock is flat in the front, which is kind of standard for target grade. You got a higher comb right here, and boy, the action is the same, and all the function is the same on it, but as you can see, this one is set up for the target shooter. So whatever you like in the 22, you've got a couple of really good options here from Springfield Armory. You might want to check them out. The Model 2020 22 long rifle rimfire. Hey, this is Ron Spomer. Thanks for watching. Hunt honest, shoot straight, and we'll see you next time.